Hey everyone, and welcome back to FSI DFS. I am McKinley412, and today we're going to be looking at this 12-game main slate on DraftKings for Tuesday night. We're kind of approaching the end of the season, only a couple of weeks left, so we do have to start paying attention to starting pitchers. Do teams have playoffs locked up? Are their starting pitchers not going to be going 100 plus pitches anymore? And sort of those types of things. As always, make sure you're paying attention to the weather, COVID-related news. We've had a pretty good stretch here with not too many issues. It does look like there might be a couple rain concerns tonight. I think everything still plays fully, but maybe a delay or two happen. Who knows? But let's get to the pitchers. Lots of great aces going on the mound today. So I think there's lots of pitching options, especially near the top. Towards the bottom, not as much. But we'll start right up at the top here with Gerrit Cole going up against Baltimore. 10-7, 10-7, definitely a very high salary, but still, he was 11-8 last time out, going up against Toronto. That was an absolute fade. I don't know how he was priced that high up, given that matchup, but still, we know what Cole's strikeout ability can be. He's facing Baltimore, who strikes out a lot. His ceiling could be monstrous. He's faced Baltimore one time this season, 43 DK points. So Cole, 10-7, I don't think you should have any concern about throwing him in at that salary price. I'm not saying he's a must absolute have. I mean, he pretty much almost is, but still, there's lots of great options tonight. Giolito coming off the IL. White Sox, they got the playoffs pretty much locked up here. So he's probably not going to go super deep into the game because, one, he's coming off the IL, and two, because they have the playoffs pretty much locked up. So I don't think he's going to get too much of a run here. 10.2K, too much for me. I'm going to be fading him. MONTAS, on the other hand, they're really fighting for the playoffs. I think he's going to be going pretty deep into the game here. 10K. He's got a nice matchup going up against Kansas City. Faced them once this season, put up 23 DK points. I like MONTAS. He's just a reliable pitcher. He's going to give you a nice floor. And you kind of see what he's been doing in the past month or so. 27, 22, 30, 31. At a 10K price tag, you're looking for like 23 to 30. That's really the money spot. Anything above that, incredible. I don't think he's going to get above that, but still, if he's going to be able to post one of these games in like the mid to upper 20s, which I think he can do, this is a great spot for MONTAS. I like him as well. Berrios, 9.8K. Toronto, they're still fighting for the playoffs. It's looking a lot better for them than it was. So Berrios, he could also have another long leash, and his form in the past 3 games has been great. Super solid. His strikeouts are up. When he first came to Toronto, he had that amazing start. And then it kind of fell apart for a little bit, but he's back. Berrios, his form is back. So I do like Berrios at 9.8K. Eovaldi, same thing. I like him against Seattle, a weaker matchup. So it's a good matchup for Eovaldi. He's nice as well. There's lots of great pitching options, which are just, these slates are so much better when there's multiple options that you can go to. Stroman, 9.3K. I've said it all year. Stroman is a great, reliable pitcher. I like him in terms of he provides you with a floor. He just doesn't strike out a lot of guys, and that's kind of the one knock against him that I've been saying all season long. It's just that he doesn't have the strikeout upside. He doesn't have the ceiling that the guys above him do. 9.3K. He's not a bad play by any means. He's definitely somebody that you should be targeting. Or should be paying attention to and thinking about to put into your lineups, and if that's where you land, that's great. But I do like the upside a little bit more, especially in GPPs, on a guy like Berrios, on a guy like MONTAS, who are just a couple hundred more that I think you can put in. So Stroman, I like him as well, and that's really kind of like the cutoff where I feel like the aces stop. So Stroman, Eovaldi, Berrios, MONTAS, and Cole. Those 5, I think, are the top 5 studs on the day. Luke Weaver, I don't like playing pitchers against the Dodgers, especially Luke Weaver. Greinke coming off the COVID IL list. Who knows how deep he goes? It is a nice matchup, but still, his form recently, if you look at it, it is ugly. So now he's coming off the COVID IL. I don't really have too much interest in him. But yeah, he's Sclafani, tough matchup against San Diego, but San Diego should just absolutely dominate Arrieta. So he should be in line for a nice win. Fine option. John Gray, kind of fine option as well. Nothing against him. Gibson's interesting in that, you know, he's facing the Cubs. We love targeting pitchers that face the Cubs. Gibson is not. He had that incredible start to the season. His first half was great. He was racking up all the wins, and we were like, "Oh my gosh, what is going on with Kyle Gibson here?" And then, you know, reality kind of set in. He's had his games. He's been up and down more recently, but still, he's going up against Chicago. 8.1K, it's a little much. It's a little high. I don't really want to pay too much. I don't really want to pay that salary for him, especially with all the aces that are on the mound. But if that's where you end up, it's fine. But it's just, he's not my top option by any means. Gonsolin, no, it's kind of, I'm not gonna go through every single picture here from here on out. It's just because there's not many guys I do have interest in. Toussaint, he's got that K upside. When he first came up into the bigs here, we were typing him up, and you know, this guy's got the K upside, and you know, he kind of showed it with us. And then his recent form has just been atrocious. So I could see him being, I don't know what's going to happen. I could see him being popular because 7-3 for a guy with this strikeout caliber, going up against the weaker Colorado lineup away from Coors. I could see people kind of gravitating towards him, jamming in a guy like Cole and then going with him. But at the same time, I could see people looking at his recent form and being like, no chance, I'm not playing this guy just because he doesn't provide any floor. So GPP, you know, he could be a nice play, but outside of that, not really. But he's fine going up against Miami. I like Miami. I like targeting pitchers against Miami, so I should say. So he's fine. Everybody else is just kind of, no, I don't really have any interest in. So pretty much after all that, what I'm pretty much saying is I'm going to be sticking kind of near the top with my pitching today, and then going with some of the cheaper bets, cheaper stacks, I guess. You could still jam in a nice stack. But yeah, so let's just throw in a guy like Montas, kind of right in the middle of all those guys I've been talking about. You know, we'll throw in Stroman as well, and just kind of see as we go along with building what things look like. First thing that I do want to highlight here tonight, though, is Chicago White Sox going up against Naughton. I think it's Packy Naughton. I think that's what his name is. Left-handed pitcher, not a great pitcher in the bigs. So we know what Chicago White Sox they can do against left-handed pitching. We spent the entire first half of the season targeting this team against left-handed pitching. Kind of fell off a cliff for a little bit, but they're coming back. So I do have a lot of interest in Chicago White Sox. They should be one of the top owned stacks on the slate tonight, just given everything and given their price, because these prices are just absurd. Jimenez 3.7, Moncada 3.7, Abreu 4.2, 4.4. These guys are just too cheap. You can have two stud pitchers and a large stack of possibly the best offense on the entire slate in a 12-game slate and still remain with 3.6, 3.7 remaining in your entire lineup. Throw in one cheap guy, maybe a punt catcher, or maybe there's another value that you find elsewhere who's like been priced. I'm just going to click a guy. I'm not saying he's a play at all. I was going to click a guy and just decide to kind of see where the line. Yeah, you end up at 4.1K remaining if you go to a super cheap play. So I think Chicago is easily the number one stack on the slate tonight, just given their price, given the matchup, and all things considered. So I absolutely love Chicago White Sox. Next team I want to focus on is the New York Yankees, who I think are also in another great spot. Let's go to them facing Baltimore. This Baltimore bullpen and just the Baltimore pitching staff. Toronto, they just put up 44 runs on them in 3 games, 22, 11, and 11 over the weekend. They just, oh man, the Yankees, they should be in a good spot to just absolutely light them up. And realistically, they're not too expensive either. You got the Judge and Stanton over 5K, but everybody else is priced down pretty good. DJ LeMahieu at only 4.2K. Voit, if he's in 3.8. Excuse me. Gardner, lefty. He's probably not going to be hitting up in the lineup, but he's been hitting that 2 spot lately. He's been doing pretty well in that 2 spot. So if he's higher up in the lineup, 2.7K, there's a nice value for you. You compare that even with the White Sox. But you throw in the 2 studs, you throw in a larger Yankee stack, and you're sitting in a nice spot here. What happens if we even throw in Judge with this? 3.3K. So it's a little bit more difficult, but it's definitely still viable. So Yankees, I think, again, they're in another smash spot with the White Sox and are facing a weak pitcher, a weak bullpen, and are not really priced up too much. So I don't think salary is going to be too much of an issue for us on this slate here. But really, those are the top 2 teams that I think really stand out. Absolutely. It's the White Sox and it's the Yankees. Other teams that you could look towards on the slate tonight, it's going to be Houston. Houston has been in nice form. Siri at min price, he just lit up the world on Tuesday night. I think he ended up with 40 some DK points. Yeah, 42 DK points. We had him. Not going to toot our own horn. We did have him. Mega Roar was really hyping him up, so we had him in showdowns. He slipped in some of the main classic lines as well. Not mine, sadly. I don't know how I missed that, but Mega Roar was all over him. So 2K, if he's in, he could be in a nice, great spot. But I'm also going to be turning towards San Francisco as I kind of scroll through the games here, kind of all over the place. But White Sox, Yankees, love them. San Francisco going up against Arrieta. Arrieta, as you know, is just take a deep breath with Arrieta. I mean, who knows what's going on, but San Francisco, we know what it's going to be. It's going to be Crawford. It's Belton, absolutely. Longoria, he's a righty, but I still love Longoria. Wade, La Stella, if he's at the top of the lineup, you could be throwing him in. Just go crazy with San Francisco. That's what we did last night against Yu Darvish. We actually cored the San Francisco bats against Darvish. Came through very well. We had some nice winnings last night. So it got really exciting, like after the top of the first inning, when we had La Stella cord and he hit a home run, and then we had Wade cord and he had double digits by the end of the first inning. Longoria hit that home run. Things were going very well. So I mean, you could go right back to the well with this tonight. San Francisco going up against Arizona. A lot of those lefties, even Longoria, and look, he got a very easy build remaining with still 3.6K remaining. Now this is with Montas and Stroman. I'm not saying those are the 2 guys that I want in. You can easily go up to Cole, but they're just kind of guys that I wanted 2 studs, just kind of show with the pricing what you can do. So San Francisco, absolutely. I think they might be my 3rd favorite. It will probably be the White Sox, the Yankees, San Francisco, and Oakland. They're in a nice spot as well, going up against KC and their weaker pitching. Houston, kind of talked about them a little bit. Dodgers, Toronto, Philadelphia, those are all kind of the plays that we could be looking at as well. Philadelphia and Toronto, they're just priced very high up. It's tough to fit these guys in. 6K, 5K, 4.9, 4.9. I mean, these guys are priced even higher than the Yankees and the White Sox and the Giants. So this is GPP at best. Cheap plays, Cubs. Colorado could be interesting. Going up against Atlanta. Like I said, I don't know what's going to go on with Toussaint. I think he could be popular just because of his K upside and what he can bring to the table, but he's been struggling recently. So maybe Colorado is a nice leverage play for you tonight. Yeah. So if I didn't mention anybody, it doesn't mean they're a bad play. It just means I'm not really on them. But that kind of wraps things up here. Lots of great pitching options. Top 3 hitting options are Giants, White Sox, Yankees. So as always, good luck in your contest, and I will see you in the next video.